Coming up next,
Ed Kalegi and Karen Richmond. This is Chatterbinge.
She possesses one of the more instantly identifiable signature sounds in all of music. Totally unique, with an ability to tell a story with precision and passion. Her new album is Rise, and she is embarking on a 27-date tour across the U.S. with Wynonna Judd, the Raised on Radio Tour. She is a Grammy winner. She is an Academy Award winner. It is great to say hello to Melissa Etheridge. Melissa, welcome to Chatterbinge.
Hello. Thank you so much.
Melissa, Rise features 11 new songs, including a duet with Grammy winner Chris Stapleton, The Other Side of Blue, and another very cool single, Matches. So let me start here. What was the inspiration for you in creating this album?
Wow. Well, this has been the longest time that I've ever had between making albums. The pandemic and everything sort of all of a sudden threw like 4 years in there, went by before any of us knew what happened. And and much happened to me. I had great loss in my life. I learned a great deal. And this album is a real, I sat down for a couple of years and really collected these songs and these thoughts, and I put a lot into it, in that, you know, I'm more mature nowadays, and there's, dare I say, wisdom I've collected, and these songs are from that. And if you have listened to my music in the past, you will find a great connection in this album, and it's still very personal and hopefully universal in that way.
It makes me think, with all of your work, your entire catalog, you have always been so honest. You have shared your journey with us through your music. What's the biggest challenge in doing that?
I think the biggest challenge is to get out of my own way. And, you know, all of us have such a critic in our head, and it just constantly pounds, you know, oh, you're not good enough. That's not good. That's not good. And the biggest challenge is to create anyway, is to move through that, you know, and say, I'm gonna examine my life. I'm gonna put this down. I'm just gonna believe. That's probably the biggest thing.
As I prepared for our conversation today, I learned something about you that I never knew. And it's the foundation of the new single, Matches. That Johnny Cash's performance at Leavenworth in 1970 is what started your interest in music. Why did that performance affect you the way it did?
Well, until he came to town, we were just a tiny town known for our prisons, known for, you know, the big house, the federal penitentiary, but nothing else happened in my town. And when this man, who I'd seen on the television, who I heard on the radio, who I admired and just thought was, you know, one of the princes of music, he came to my town. I didn't see him. I just knew that he was there in the prison, and I could see the prison from my backyard. It was just a couple blocks away. Mm-hmm. And it really meant a lot that something that seemed so far away, I was standing on the same ground as him. I was breathing the same air as him. And it made me think that maybe it's attainable, this crazy dream I have.
And it leads to the Raised on Radio Tour. You and Wynonna Judd. Okay. What excites you most about this tour and about working with Wynonna?
Oh, I'm excited about our two audiences and how they're going to intersect in that sort of 90s radio time, these hits that we're going to play. It's going to be so much fun. Wynonna is such a great singer, performer, and I certainly can't wait to get out there and just rock everyone's toes off. And it's just a great night of live music, and I think live music is really in demand now, this sort of live experience.
And it's an amazing connection when you're there and you have an audience in front of you. It's unlike anything else, is it not?
Like nothing else.
Yeah.
It is. I kind of don't understand. I mean, I understand how the artists nowadays like to present exactly what they hear on their recordings, and so they play to tracks. I have to be live in the moment. I have to have all the music coming right from those human beings that are making it. And when you can achieve this connection with an audience. And inside this music, there is nothing like that on earth.
There is a quote of yours about the tour that I read last night, and it stayed with me, and that is, "Raised on Radio isn't just a tour name. It's my roots and wings. It's late nights with the dial turned low, chasing distant stations through the static. It's songs that felt like they understood me before I understood myself. The radio was my teacher, my comfort, my escape." I love that. Melissa, take me deeper into this, because I did the same thing. For you, it was 810 WHB out of Kansas City. For me, around the same time, it was 77 WABC in New York. There was true magic in that static, and there is nothing like that either, is there?
No, not at all. I remember the static. I was just talking to my wife about that. Remember when you would drive, I would be in the car and my father would turn the radio on and we would be going on a long drive, like down to my grandparents or something. And you knew that there was going to be a point where you would lose that radio station. You'd hear the static kind of start, and then slowly over the next 10, 15 minutes, it would get further and further away, and then you would have just nothing until the next station came on.
Yeah.
And that's just something that people don't go through. But the radio, when you would hear a new song that piqued your interest and then it became your favorite song for like a month, now you can hear it years later and it would take you right back to that month, that summer, that time. That it's just... music was everything, and all the different types of artists. That's what I loved about WHB. They would play country, they would play Tammy Wynette, then they would play Led Zeppelin, then they would play Marvin Gaye and Otis Redding and Motown, and everything just came flying through the radio.
It makes me think of something that I haven't thought of in years, and you just spurred a memory in me. There's a scene in a movie called Midnight Cowboy when John Voight, playing a character named Joe Buck, arrives finally in New York City where he's trying to get to, and he's clutching his radio on his lap. He sees the Empire State Building, but he turns on a New York radio station and this big smile comes across his face, because for a lot of people, that's how you would first learn about a city, when you would get there and you turn the radio on and you would hear that local flavor and flair of what the town sounded like. You are one of the most emotive, honest, and expressive music artists I've ever heard. How difficult was it for you to develop your inner instrument of soulful honesty?
Well, that started as me doing what I saw. As I listened to the radio, I knew that I could feel there were some artists who were writing these songs themselves. They were presenting it, and it was their life. People like Simon and Garfunkel, Paul Simon,
Sure.
Joni Mitchell, these songs that Bob Dylan, that described their life at this time, and that they took on the lore of troubadour, of bringing people to an emotional point and giving them information. And that's just how I always wanted to be, and I still think that is my job. That is my craft in this world, is to take these emotional experiences and put them in a song that I can share with others and share that experience. So
well said. Well, once again, Melissa's new album is Rise. You can get it right now at melissaetheridge.com. The 27-date Raised on Radio tour, where Melissa is joined by Wynonna Judd, kicks off June 24th in Vienna, Virginia, then crisscrosses the nation. You can get your tickets now. Melissa Etheridge, I've enjoyed this. Thank you so much for joining us here on Chatterbinge.
Thank you so much.
I'm Ed Kalegi.
3, 2, 1. Great conversations happen here. Chatterbinge.